A small valley of abandoned rails, with only the mountain railway still in use, has been left abandoned for over time. One day, the restoration project had begun, and soon Toby had brought the Fat Controller to review the area for restoration. He stepped out of Toby's cab looking in awe. "This area is very nice for a new mine on the railway. The restoration shall begin." When Rusty pulled up, "You sure this area? That boulder looks very unsafe." Quit your easing and get to work. Mr. Percival wants this cleaned by the end of the week, and I'm sure he's not going to cut slack for me." Soon, Patrick puffed by on the mountains. "Oh, hello down there. I can see you're renovating this area. You know anything about it?" asked Toby, out of curiosity from what Rusty had been yipping and yapping about the boulder. As Patrick and Toby talked, Toby became slightly more afraid of the area he was just working in. Soon they were working until the dark. Donald's trucks were getting more full every hour. Soon he had left with a fully full train. That night, Toby slept there. He didn't have enough water to get home, and he was worried about being here. Every noise had worried him on belief, until he saw something in the bushes. What's under those bushes? Is it a ghost?" "I don't know. I'll have to check. Can you please check? It's worrying me, as funny as it sounds." "Okay," said Rusty. Rusty and his crew soon pulled up to the siding where the rubble was. Bit by bit, Toby saw his quote-unquote ghost under the rubble unveil. "Why, hello there," came old Tender Engine from the bushes. Rusty jumped when he saw him. Duncan laughed a little bit from Rusty's dilemma. "What's there?" said Toby. "Well, why don't you come out? Your ghost would like to meet you." I don't want to meet the ghost. He's not a ghost." "Oh, oh, hello there. Hello, I'm Bertram, the old warrior." And he explained how he had gotten that name. Well, no one noticed. Frank tried to leave in frightenment, and he dropped his logs and a flatbed. Lord, did anyone know? Duncan himself was a little spooked, and would have the idea of ghosts in his mind until the next day. When Toby was finally sent back to Farquhar and Percy was put on duty, Percy was beginning to enjoy his work at the quarry, narrow gauge, miniature, and mountain engines. But soon the work would become too much for him, and Thomas was brought on to help. He did get some rest time, but he would still be put upon. The next few days, Percy was shunting stone trucks from the mines throughout the weeks and days. Thomas was brought on to help, but didn't help Percy with his stone trucks, which made Percy more and more upset through the day. "I'm tired and no one cares," groaned Percy. "We care? No, you don't. You won't be bothered to help." Have not, have to, have not, have to, have not, have to, have not. The engines bickered. "Can you quiet down?" said Rex. "I'm trying to work, and you're not really being helpful." "Shut up, Rex," said the two engines, and they continued to bicker non-recklessly. The other engines at the worksite were very annoyed, and soon Percy had left with his stone train. When he came back with more explosives, Thomas was still mad at him. He felt a little bad for getting into an argument when suddenly stone fell from the mountains and landed on a fuel barrel, which exploded on impact. Thomas got away, but Percy was still stuck on the explosion, and because of the explosion, a rock slide had begun to happen. Just as he thought he wouldn't be making it out alive, something great happened. A great white tarp flew over him. He doesn't know where it had came from. All he knew is that it covered him from what was happening above him. It took a while for all the stones on top of Percy and everywhere to be removed, but once it was happened, everyone was glad to see Percy was still okay. Thomas took Percy to the works. I'm sorry about yelling at you. You are very lucky to have survived that situation. Situation? What does that mean? You know, like a problem that's occurring. Thomas, he might have been hit by those rocks. It could have affected his smartness. Occurring? Thomas tried to explain what had happened for Percy. Donald was Percy's replacement and did the jobs until Percy had came back for service. He did very well, but very, very soon Percy was back on the job helping Sir Topham Hatt on the area. One day Donald brought in a new machine. Percy questioned what it was. His name is Thumper. He's made to collect the looks easier. He does it pretty well from what I've seen from demonstrations. And indeed, he did. A little too well for Rusty. Shane Deweyne was at the mountain, so Rusty decided to talk to him. Why, hello, Rusty. What may you be doing this day? Well, I'm wondering about Boulder. Oh, say no more. The tale of Boulder is as tale as old as time. You see, back in the early Sudrian eras, it was made. It's like a monument of some sorts. But, it didn't really work. It scared people from being there, and it only made unfortunate events. Soon, this little Cedric empire that doesn't really know what it's called was lost to time, something like this area of this rail. Some say it was because of Boulder, some say it was just bad fortune. Either way, the story of Boulder lives on, and no one can understand what is the problem with it. Finished with a dramatic pause. Thumper was going away at the rocks until it was too late. Boulder crushed Frank's flatbed and started rolling towards Rusty, and he raveled along his line, having the boulder chase him in a cartoonish way. But he ran along a valley, so it kept going along his line, even if it wanted to veer off. Soon, he took the loop line back to the line, and Boulder continued to roll. He ran into a pile of rocks. He said, "Are you okay?" "What a nice day." "It is a nice day, isn't it?" "Shut up." "What was that?" "Don't know." "Bye." "You said bye to a rock rolling on a line? Aren't you concerned?" "Now you think of it, yes." "Oh, Jesus!" The noise was horrible, and what was left of the shed was even worse. So Topham Hatt walked up. Whatever this boulder's history was, it has shown today that it was a warning of not to be here. And whatever that warning is for, I hope we don't find out. It is maybe a warning that we should have left this part of the island alone. The engines had a lot on their mind after what Sir Tom had said, but hope they could rebuild from what they've made. Okay, thank you. Before you go, thank you for 150 subs, and thank you for watching this. I know there's no sounds or music, but I am honestly too lazy to add that because it's a big hassle. This was a lot of fun, and yes, this is a part of my headcanon. I didn't want to do a headcanon video yet, but all of this is a headcanon. So put upon Percy, Rusty in the Boulder, and Toby's Ghost, or whatever it's called, are all canon to be in the same place in my headcanon. Now enjoy bloopers as I talk over them. This was just trying to get the boulder in the shed, and it sucked. Bye!